So we've used the metaphor before of people as ships with sails, right? Mm-hmm. And how liberating it is to realize that we don't necessarily propel ourselves. We don't have to provide that impetus. What we do is open our sails, and then we just have to direct that energy and steer it in the direction that we want to go. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, it's a both and.
Exactly.
Right? Yes.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But there are people who feel, and I'm sure you've had these people come to you who say, my sails are open. I'm ready to receive. I'm ready for something to happen. I want to direct myself. But I have no wind, and I am stuck adrift in the middle of the ocean, and I am running out of food and fresh water, and I don't know what to do.
Well, yes. And not only have I had people that I've worked with who've been there, I've been there. So is your question then about what to say, or what would I say to people who are in that position?
How do you address somebody who's in that position? Yes. And maybe what does it mean to be in that position? And how can somebody in that position use what you're offering to help themselves?
Wow. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Okay. I mean, you're talking about that survival mode place. You really are. And there's a lot of people who are there right now. And I think how I want to address the question is, I'm just going to be transparent about myself at the moment, because I rarely, when I coach, I don't tell people what they should do. Typically, when I have conversations with people, I ask questions and I help them come to their own answers. So given what you're saying, I think because I could start processing you, but I want this to be something that everybody can grasp. So it's really difficult to receive something new. Hell, forget about something new. Something different. Or even something more. Forget about something better. When you're in survival mode. I know for myself, I shut down. I shut down physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I've been self-employed since 1989. So I know what it's like to be feast or famine. I know what it's like to live on the generic version of Kraft Dinner and Campbell's soup because it was the cheapest thing on the grocery store shelf. And to not want to be on this planet anymore, and to feel like, why the heck am I here? You know what? I mean, really. And who's gonna, who cares? I've been in that spin out place. And one of the things that I want to share with everybody is especially in my move down here to San Diego from Canada, from Calgary, Alberta, this has been a huge step for me. I'm born and raised in one city, where my parents were born and raised in one city. And as much as that has given me a beautiful foundation, it was a big step. And, some people go, wow, poor you, right? You've gone down to a warmer climate, you've gone down to one of the most beautiful temperate, beautiful cities on the face of the planet, you're by the ocean, which has been my passion for at least the last 3 years. Oh, poor you. There has been a huge shift in the last 4 years from me, in that here I am, a woman in my 40s, and my physical footprint, my energetic footprint, if you will, has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. I bought my first house when I was 26. I had a burgeoning career as an executive in the nonprofit sector. I was an interim executive director with a number of nonprofits. I had a coaching and consulting business on the side that I was working with small businesses, solopreneurs. I was working with family-run businesses, which is still I still have a few clients that are family-run businesses that are close and near and dear to my heart. I was doing well. My career took off. And quite literally over the last 20 years, even though my coaching and the work with 6 Acts of Receiving and the intuitive work that I do now is starting to energetically and spiritually do this, my physical footprint, materially, in terms of my house, which I no longer own, my bank account, there's a number of things that have decreased by choice. I have been releasing, if you will, my attachments to the things that I don't want to say they don't mean anything, that don't mean as much as they used to me. And while that's a conscious choice, and while I feel that that's part of my journey and part of my learning, it's been difficult because it has been directly counter to what the world would say I should have by the time I'm X number of years old. What kind of a career I should have, what kind of a bank account I should have, what kind of a, whatever I should have. I have been, by the people who are near and dear to me, who care about me, absolutely. I've had people say, why don't you go get a real job? I get it. I get it.